A lot of people were surprised to find out that Big Zhao is a real historical emperor. But here's something even crazier: the game has at least 4 real emperors who play a major part in the story. In this video, we'll talk about 3 of them. All 3 emperors genuinely cared about the common people. Rong and Kuangyin were born as commoners themselves. They knew what suffering looked like. So why did they still want to invade southern Tang? Were they just power-hungry warlords pretending to be nice? An in-game encounter, the Winter Gambit, tells us the truth. They have no choice. Let's try to understand why. Assume we are Rong. We just became the emperor of later Zhou. Too bad for us, by now Yan Yun is already lost to the Kitans. The Kitans were like the Vikings of the East, fierce raiders who plundered cities. In the game, the Forsaken Corner used to be a bustling place before the Kitans invaded Kaifeng. Without Yan Yun as a natural fortress, the entire central plain is exposed. As Rong, the protector of the people, we have to take Yan Yun back. Now, strategy. Plan A. Fight Liao head-on. We launch a northern campaign and fight them there. Simple, right? Except they work with northern Han to cut off our supply routes from here. Okay then, let's look at northern Han, modern-day Taiyuan. Taiyuan looks like this. I mean, wow, how do you conquer that? And also, Taiyuan's been reinforced many times as a key fortress for over 1,000 years. It's huge, self-sustaining, expensive to siege, and not even that economically valuable compared to the rich south. Fine, then let's conquer northern Han first, before we take on Liao. But Rong only controls a fraction of the land the Tang Dynasty once had. You simply don't have the resources for 2 massive wars. We need more people and more land. There's also another issue that we hear in Tianying's storyline. Southern Tang was teaming up with the Kitans, so we are getting squeezed from both sides. That brings us to Plan B. Unify the south first. Take southern China, build a strong economic base, and then go north. Congratulations! We have arrived at the strategy all 3 emperors in this video follow. In the encounter, Big Zhao debates whether to eat fish, which represents southern Tang, or lamb, which symbolizes the north. In fact, the encounter is based on a real historical event where this plan took shape. So now it makes more sense. They invade southern Tang because they have to, and they push north because they have to. Historically, China never saw peace or prosperity when the land was fragmented. When Zhao Guangyi talks about greater good in the game, he actually means it. Long-term peace versus short-term suffering is exactly the dilemma. Even the universal furnace in CN is called the greater good furnace. In real history, Rong launched 3 campaigns against southern Tang in just 2 years, capturing 14 prefectures. He even forced the southern Tang emperors to drop the imperial title, so the Shimmer of South can only call himself ruler of Jiangnan. Sadly, Rong died from a sudden illness after several victories against Liao. He only ruled for 5 years. In the game, he dies at the same time point, but the cause is changed to poisoning, and we're still waiting for future patches to reveal the details. His mission to reclaim Yan Yun is real, but the Hanging Sword, the Northern Vow, and Tianying are all fictional. Zhao Kuangyin. In real history, Zhao Kuangyin's rise feels like something out of a wuxia novel. He grew up with nothing. As a kid, he trained in riding and archery in the Shaolin Temple, and was always better than the other boys. In the game, there's a fun little encounter based on the real-life folklore. You visit an opera house in Kaifeng, but the arrogant shopkeeper kicks you out. Zhao Kuangyin happens to have tickets and invites you inside. The show is a famous Qu Ju, called 1,000 Miles to Escort Jin Yang. The story goes like this. Before Zhao Kuangyin became emperor, he rescued a young woman named Jin Yang from a gang of bandits. Then he walked 1,000 miles to escort her home. On the way, he fought off wave after wave of bandits. When she finally reached home, she confessed her love. But Zhao Kuangyin turned her down. He did not help her for romance. He did it because of xia yi, that code of chivalry in the Jianghu. The story became a classic opera piece that is still performed today, and the game recreated with amazing detail. Back to real history. At 21, Zhao Kuangyin started at the very bottom as a foot soldier. When he was 26, Rong became emperor. That same year, Northern Han and the Kitans launched a joint invasion. Rong's army almost lost the battle, but Zhao Kuangyin went completely fearless. He stormed into the enemy camp on horseback, rallied the troops, and helped turn the entire battle around. When they returned, he was promoted faster than anyone else. Now comes the drama. 5 years later, Rong died, and his 7-year-old son became emperor. Zhao Kuangyin spread fake news that the Kitans were invading again, so he had to march out and defend the country. And so, conveniently, he took all the troops with him. Halfway to the front, at a place called Chenqiao, his closest man began whispering to the soldiers, "The emperor's just a kid. He can't rule. We fight for the country, but who will ever know? Why don't we make Zhao Kuangyin emperor before we get to the battlefield?" The next morning, Zhao Kuangyin's brother, Zhao Guangyi, and his advisor, Zhao Pu, put on a show. They had the soldiers wrap a yellow imperial robe around Zhao Kuangyin, while he pretended to be waking up from a drunken sleep. Then everyone knelt and called him emperor. Zhao Kuangyin acted annoyed and told them, "I never wanted any of this. But if you want to make me emperor, do as I say. When we return to the royal palace, do not frighten the empress dowager or the young emperor. Do not harm the officials. Do not loot the city or the treasury." The soldiers agreed. With full control of the army, Zhao Kuangyin marched back to Kaifeng and took control of the capital without a single drop of blood. Through a peaceful coup, he founded the Song Dynasty at the age 34. Peaceful seems to be his preferred style. To make sure no one could pull the same move on him, he took power away from the generals. At a banquet, he pressured them into giving up their military authority and retiring quietly, instead of, killing them. This was later called taking military power over wine. He kicked off an entire series of reforms to prevent future coups. Domestically, he pushed hard to restore law and order in a chaotic time. He cracked down on corruption, supported farming and silk production, and opened the government to capable commoners. These policies helped China recover from the Wu Dai Shi Guo chaos and enter a time of relative peace. And yes, he really did travel in disguise to see how common people lived. Most emperors only heard flattery, so any ruler who actually goes out and checks the truth earns my respect. Look, he even sleeps on the roof. How many kings or presidents do that? Zhao Guangyi. In real history, Zhao Guangyi was indeed the prefect of Kaifeng at this time. He became emperor right after his brother died. There is still debate on whether his succession was legitimate. Either way, he continued to do all the good things his elder brother did. He completed the ongoing campaigns and reclaimed several regions, but he was a scholar without much battlefield experience, and overall he failed badly in his wars against Liao. That's it for our video today. Thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment.